How important was the period from the mid-1870s up to 1900 in determining what would happen in 1900?
Well, I think what that period from 1875 to 1894 did was it vested in white Democrats the notion that they were the rightful heirs of the pre-Civil War state power structure. In short, they were supposed to control the state. And there was very little political give and take between Republicans and Democrats. The disputes at the state level were largely disputes of importance were largely disputes within the Democratic Party itself. So the election of 1894, when the fusionists seized control of the state legislature, is really a shock to the white power structure in the state. And they spend the rest of the decade trying to figure out a way that they can regain control of the state legislature and the governor's mansion that they had lost. And it's important to remember during this period, before the Constitution was subsequently amended, that the legislature also appointed state senators to the U.S. Senate. So those were two more important seats that if you got control of the legislature, you controlled.
Now, some people will look back on the history and say much of what happened because these white guys who were in charge were a bunch of racists. You pointed out in your presentation that while, yes, many of them, if not most or all, were racists, that wasn't the only factor.
Right. I think by any reasonable standard that we might apply today, we would label these individuals racist. But their objectives ultimately were political and economic objectives. The political ones were the narrowest of political objectives. They wanted control. And in order to do that, they had to take that control back from the fusionists